intro. You know, it's a new intro music I have, but you know, I'm sure it'll mess up, man.
I'm moved up.
Hey guys, we got the amazing Ra Castaldo, my good friend, with us. We're gonna play the intro music and we're gonna get started. And I hope everybody enjoys.
You decide. Questioning the matrix from UFOs where the shadows are known reside. Rob Kalil busting myths like ghosts in the night. Paranormal pros, secret space ops. Yo, we keep it real, no fright. Typical skeptical seeking, never sleeping on the lies. Aliens, Anunnaki, black ops in disguise. From abductions to ancient scripts, we flip the script wide. TSP style, mile after mile, truth can't hide. Hold up, TSP crew assemble, we dismantle the fable. My lab's targeted souls breaking out of the stable. Dogman howling, big for prowling, cryptids in the mist. Mandela the fifth twist in reality, can't resist the twist. Soul trap snapping, reincarnation mapping, holographic dreams. Near-death visions, out-of-body missions, waking up the teams. No censorship here, we fear no elite scheme. Conspiracy kings ringing bells, hear the freedom ring. The skeptical seeking, never sleeping on the lies. Extraterrestrials, interdimensional highs. Welcome to the typical skeptic.
Okay, great. I'm really excited about this. Okay, guys, I'm really excited about my guest tonight. Why is it playing? Wait a minute. It's not stopping.
Welcome to the typical skeptic podcast, where we dive deep. You decide. Questioning the matrix from UFOs where the shadows are known reside.
I have my good friend with us, Ra Castaldo, guys. I don't know what's up with that intro, guys. Why it does that to me every time. It's like every time I try to, you know. Anyway, Ra's amazing. He's been doing this for years. He used to be on Truth Frequency Network. Like, I'll just tell you, like,
Can't hear you.
Can't resist the twist. Soul trap snapping, reincarnation mapping, holographic dreams near death.
You're muted, brother. You're muted the whole time. You've been muted. You're muted. Now you're not. You were muted the whole time. Yeah, you were muted the whole time, so we couldn't hear you talking.
But it keeps playing the music over and over again. It won't stop. It's like torturing me.
That's crazy.
Let me. Okay, hey guys. Yeah, every time let me log in for my phone. This is a fucking disaster, dude. What the fuck?
I'll be right here. My microphone don't even work either. So hey everybody, what's going on? Rob will be right with us. We've been having technical difficulties. Even my microphone's not working tonight, so I'm using the camera microphone. Unfortunately, I don't like StreamYard.
Hey guys, sorry about that. So anyway, we have one of my favorite guests on the show today, Ra Castaldo. I first heard of Ra when he was on Truth Frequency Radio, and I used to watch him on Leak Project. And you know, I was really into his stuff then. And then I saw him on another show, and I messaged him. And he's always had good information. He's been doing this for years. He's a top esoteric researcher. There's not many people that bring the information that Ra brings. You know what I mean? Like he has a unique skill set where he's able to, you know, tap into like interesting information. He was born inside the call, which means he was born with the cord wrapped around his neck, which means very psychic and Italian Strega. And he's from an Italian Strega bloodline. Strega means like good witches, the Benedante, and from Italy, you know, and he can tell you a little bit more about his bio. But tonight we're going to be like Nephilim star magic. And we're going to be getting into a couple readings. And I'm so sorry about the intro, guys. I don't know why that happens. Like, I hit the intro, then it keeps playing over and over again, then it plays over me, and it's like torture every single time. But anyway, with all that said, I'd like to give him a big warm welcome back to the show. My good friend, Ra Castaldo, who's also having technical difficulties tonight. But what's up, man? What do you think is going on? Do you think it's something with the energy? Do you think the cosmic energy's off or something, dude?
Yeah.
Or what do you
Yeah. Well, I think shit just happens when people have important things to say too, you know?
Yeah.
People are, you know, there's all sorts of forces trying to prevent it. Yeah, it has to do with the cosmic energies. People are starting to realize now a little bit more, but everything that's coming from the sun, all the affects the spiritual domain of life on the planet. It affects it. Everything that's coming from the cosmos affects the energies on Earth. So for sure, we're affected by everything that's flying through our solar system, everything that's pulsating, cosmic rays that gets brought to us by the solar wind, all sorts of things. So yeah, we're definitely getting affected by cosmic energies for sure.
Yeah. We already got a cool comment from Sovereign Cosmic Wildman. I just wanted to show you this. He says he's experienced what you experienced. He said a Neanderthalish type rambling shapeshifter that you shared a story in previous shows. Do you remember sharing that or something, that you saw like some kind of Neanderthal shapeshifter that was rambling or something like that?
Oh, like those noise, that noise. Yeah, I know what she's talking about. We could get to that a little bit, but I wanted to clear up one thing too. You mentioned the call birth at the beginning of the bio. It's not just with the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. That was part of it, but mostly a call birth is when you're totally enveloped in the amniotic sac, right?
Wow.
The whole sac, right? So
yeah,
and I also had the cord wrapped around my neck. That was part of it. But a call birth is when you have when your mom's water never breaks and you're still born out of the womb, but you're still enveloped in the whole pod, like in the watery pod, right? So yeah, it's pretty rare birth, and it leads into our topic for tonight, because from my own life experiences, Rob, and from the old things I've been into, I started to realize that some of the call babies make some of the best candidates for some of these clandestine projects. But in general, babies that are born, all babies that are born in hospitals, they're given a code when they're born. That code is almost like it's used like a sigil, and that code contains the blood type, the traits of the baby, all the information of the baby, blood work, all different stuff is is known in that code, and it's shared. It's shared with hospitals. It's shared with all sorts of people that are on the payroll. Who knows where that information is shared? But as the child and the person grows, that code is used by not just clandestine operations, but cults, hereditary bloodlines and hereditary secret societies that have been using things like this for a long period of time. And on certain times of the year that we even call the Ember Days, these are when astral battles take place. These are the times of the year where these codes are used in star magic. And depending on the baby's, code, it's used at a certain, on eclipses, on equinoxes, on solstices. And that code is used in certain star magic to, sort of direct the life of the child and the person and manipulate it and control it. Right. And a lot of people, I do believe that they feel like they end up being like super soldiers or something, but it's not that. They're being enslaved in many ways to do things by star magic cults. And ultimately this goes back thousands of years, man. I mean, a long time.
That's amazing. Yeah. Like, and then it's just like, what are they doing with the codes? Like, what do they do with do they like use it to put people in projects or something like that?
Well, you at certain times of the year, like I said, like on solstices, equinoxes, they'll do rituals and involve this sigil or code in the magic ritual to steer the life of the child and the baby in certain directions.
Wow.
Right? And to control the child and control the person. And this can happen throughout their life, and they don't even realize that they're being used in this way, because certain babies that are born certain ways make better candidates for these kind of clandestine operations and projects, right? So then you get certain people that like people that are born in the call. There's a high. This is people that are born in the call. It's not just nowadays. I mean, thousands of years ago, midwives, hundreds of years ago, even midwives and shaman, they when babies were born this way, they would take the baby in and raise them as seers and shaman and sages. So nowadays, it's well known by military covert projects that babies that are born in certain ways will have certain qualities and be able to, be used in these rituals, dude. And there's certain times of the year, even the Persians, right? I might have mentioned this before in your show. The Persians had 4 royal stars, the 4 watchers, the 4 watchtowers and guardians of the night, and they were Regulus, Antares, Aldebaran, and Fomalhaut. Right, those were the watchers of the sky, the 4 ends of the 4 ends of the sky. They were the watchers of the north, the south, the east, and the west, and they're used in star magic, right? And like on the vernal equinox is when Aldebaran is used, and that's the watcher of the east. And they'll do certain rituals involving these codes to certain stars that will impart certain qualities and certain abilities and certain things to the child, and the child's life will get steered in certain ways, so they're easily controlled and easily manipulated, making the child. This goes back to ancient Sanskrit and Vedic, Rob. Like they call it. I've talked about the Asura and the Deva wars.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, our species has been an Asura species for a couple of thousand years, if not 5,000 or 6,000 years, a warrior species, right? And what that means is an Asura is a warrior species. That an Asura species is a species that is materialistic. They want domination and power and control and materialistic goods. They're drug addicted. They're manipulated and mind controlled. And that's who we are. That's our species in a nutshell right now. And we've been dominated by that Asura force, the Asura current.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm gonna cut out for a second, but this is interesting. So this goes back to like ancient Vedic, like, and you said the Asuras were basically the Anunnaki at some point, or the Anunnaki were like an offshoot of them, right?
Well, I mean, you could call all these, like the Nephilim is just a more Hebrew term, right? And there's so many different tribes that came from originally Asura and Deva tribes. I mean, in ancient Sanskrit, you have the Rig Veda is the oldest of the writings, and it was passed down orally for thousands of years before anybody even wrote it down. So
yeah,
you have all of these mantras that were made to align with the primal sounds of nature and the universe, right? And these mantras were used to literally absorb the cosmic consciousness and align ourselves with the cosmic consciousness. So they were using what was coming from the stars for thousands of years. And at one point, it talks about where the Asura and the Devas, they were both equal and divine, used like working in harmony. But then they started to war over what they were harnessing from the stars, the knowledge that they were harnessing and how they were applying this knowledge. Some of the tribes started to act like, gods and rule over people, enslave humanity with their knowledge, right? And these tribes all went to war. That's why you see a split, and you see like Persians and Hittites and Amorites and Alamakites and all of these different tribes with that come from a similar origin, but they split out all over the planet and set up shop, right? And most of them are, that we know of, are dominating warrior Asura tribes because they ruled and dominated over regions for long periods of time. That's why we have knowledge and leftovers like the Hittites and the Egyptians and the Mitanni and all these different tribes that were warrior Asura tribes, Persian tribes. And the United States is no different, right? We're all of the China, all these different tribes that we have now, we're no different, right? It's the same war, and you can see it. So it's worldwide symbolism that was being used, worldwide names that are derived from each other. And you can call it Nephilim tribes, you can call it Asura tribes. They're all related. Anunnaki tribes, it's all related. It's all related, and it all, like, when you have the word Anu, it's one of the original 5 Vedic families, right? You have, when you have the Asura and the Deva, they're the Kshatriyas and the Brahmins, right? The Kshatriyas are the Asuras, the warriors. The Brahmins are the Devas, the priests. So they're priest warrior clans, right? This is where ultimately you get like the Nephilim shepherd kings and fisher kings and all of these different tribes. So those tribes, there was originally 5 main Vedic families that broke out, and all these different names came from 5 originally. They were the Anu is one of them. The Puru is another one. All right. The Druyu. There's all these different names, and you can see like druids from that. You can see the Anunnaki. Like all of these different names are originally derived from these tribes, right? Like, and it's just, they're all sound shifts from the different names. Like even the name of Osiris comes from Asura, right? Osiris is a Greek name, but his real name in Egyptian is Asar.
Yeah.
Right. It's his real name, Asar, and that's Nasura, king. Right. And you even have the Assyrians. When you have the word Assyrian, that comes right from Asura, and the Persians, and they worship Ahura Mazda, Ahura, Asura. It's just a sound shift. Ahura Mazda actually translates to the great Lord Asura. Right. It's like,
was that Enki? Was that, some people say that Ahura Mazda was Enki? Was that?
Well, no, Ahura Mazda is the Persians. So it's like more of the Zoroaster and the Persian, but like Enki, Enlil, these all come from like, so you have.
Where I was going with that, like people said that Enlil was actually Ashur in Persia, where Enki was actually, like they say that they were different names in different cultures, but like I don't know if there's any truth to that,
Well, they are definitely different names in different cultures, and people derive them. But you have, like, for instance, you have different. I think certain kings took on the names of cosmic principles and cosmic laws, because the original name Enki, right, literally means king of the watery abyss.
Yeah.
Right. It's on and key. When sky, heaven, and earth meet, right? And literally it translates to king of the watery abyss. And when they're saying the watery abyss, they ain't talking about the ocean on earth. They're talking about the celestial plasma waters, right?
Yeah.
And the watery abyss around earth, like the magnetosphere and all of that. Even his name, like he's called the firstborn of An, the firstborn of the sky, right? His mother is Ninhursag, right? He's like these. It's like he's from the sky, and Enlil, the brother, has to do with the wind, the solar wind. So you literally have Enki, who's the solar waters, and his brother, the solar wind, and they bring creation on the planet, right? And you usually have these tetrads and triads and all these different that bring creation. Like in Canaanites, you have El and Asherah, these 2 supreme deities, and Asherah is literally the goddess of the waters, the same thing, like the lady of the sea, the lady of the plasma waters. And then you have El, who's the supreme deity. When they get together, they have 70 children, and those 70 children are Baal and all these different ones, Anath, but they're not people, so to say. They're cosmic principles and laws, right? And some of these tribes adopted these names that originally came from cosmic principles and laws, right? So like even that number 72, it has to do with creation, right? Like and the way our procession moves. Like we move 72 degrees every 1 degree every 72 years, right? And when they talk about like certain gods get together to form 70 children, right? El and Asherah, that's 2. They get together to have 70 children. That's 72 in all. That's creation codes, right? It's all has to do, like each one is the cosmic mist and the cosmic wind and the cosmic all of this, and they come together to bring creation, right? It's ultimately like the way things work is that we communicate with the plasma light of the universe, and that makes materializations in this physical realm.
Yeah, yeah. So it all goes back to like, the cosmic, or our cosmic origins, our real cosmic origin.
Yeah, and Enki and Enlil is more of just the Sumerian names for some of these principles and laws, right?
Yeah.
And then some people adopted these names as well, right? But I mean, dude, you got all sorts of tribes all the way down into the Bible, like with these giants, that were offshoots of the Asura and Devas. Like, one of the last giants that were in the Bible, people probably have heard of King Og, right? Well,
Yeah, yeah. He was a Nephilim, right?
Yeah, he was the last of the Rephaim that were talked about in the Bible, and he is related to the town of Ashtaroth, right? And Bashan, and he was King Og of Bashan, and he was a legendary king in the Bible, and supposedly red hair, very very tall, probably over 10 feet, and he was said to be buried even at the 33rd parallel right there in Mount Hermon underneath Gilgal Rephaim. I don't know if you've even seen the stone wheel of Gilgal Rephaim in Mount Hermon, an area of Lebanon, in the Golan Heights, actually, in Lebanon. This area has got so many dolmens and different things. I don't know if I could share a screen, but
the Golan Heights is interesting because I'm part Lebanese. I know a little bit about that. It goes, I think it's in Israel, Syria, and Lebanon. It goes through all, and what's interesting, I was going to say, was about King Og is like, I remember Matthew LaCroix, he did a video on Leak Project, actually, and it was about King Og, and it was about how, supposedly the God sent the Israelis out to kill this King Og because they were trying to exterminate the last of the Nephilim kings. Do you think there's truth to that, or do you think have you heard that?
That's the whole reason of the Bible. I mean, so yeah, I know Matt. I haven't spoke to him in many years, but we did an interview like in 2015 together. See, people don't maybe not realize this, but myself and Gary Wayne have been working together for over a decade, and I'm one of the premier people to talk to about Nephilim tribes and people like that. So most priests don't even know why God brought the flood. You can ask most Christians, most Catholic priests, most Christians in general, and ask them, pretty simple, why did God bring the flood? Most 99% of them will tell you to remove the evil on earth, right? But they don't tell you the specific evil. They don't tell you the specific contamination that was on the planet. And the contamination was the Nephilim tribes that were created by however you want to look at it, whether fallen angels came down and had sex with human women, or they genetically manipulated the population, or whatever happened, right? There was a tribe of giants that were created through the offspring of this meeting between angelic DNA and human DNA. It's elaborated. It's mentioned in Genesis 6. It's elaborated in the book of Enoch. And then throughout the Bible, there's a theme about these giants having 6 fingers, 6 toes, double rows of teeth. They were not just mutations, but a different species. They weren't like some acromegaly Andre the Giant. They were
these the elongated skulls, or were the elongated skulls a different breed?
Oh, the elongated skulls are for sure related to these tribes. For sure. No doubt in my mind, they're for sure related to these tribes. Now, there's so much. There at one time it was a worldwide culture, for sure. It wasn't just in Golan Heights, but you had specific tribes in specific areas. And King Og was during these biblical times, and he was a ruler in Bashan, right? That area. I mean, the original name of that area was Ashtaroth Quarnaim, which means the womb of Ashtaroth. If you look in the Bible, the word Asherah and Ashtaroth are used many times as goddess names. In fact, Asherah, there's very interesting little elements of the Bible that people don't even mention, because when the prophet Elijah, when he went to war with the prophets of Baal, I don't know if you know the Bible at all, but there's a story in the Bible where the prophet Elijah has this showdown of solar priests where there's like over 400 prophets of Baal, and they challenge Elijah, and the challenge is like Elijah challenged them to light the altar of Yahweh on fire, and of course, by just doing that, by calling out to God, the prophets of Baal couldn't do this, but Elijah summoned, just by saying one word, the finger of God, lightning from the heavens comes down and lights the altar of Yahweh on fire, right? So, and then when this happens, he proves that his God is more powerful than the prophets of Baal, right? So he actually, at this showdown, you have 400 prophets of Baal there, over 400 worshippers of the goddess Asherah there, and then you have Elijah and the worshippers of Yahweh. But when Elijah wins the battle, he takes the prophets of Baal down to the river and sacrifices them all. But he leaves the Asherah, the prophets of the goddess Asherah, he leaves them alone. He doesn't sacrifice them. It's no mention of that. But he sacrifices all the ones from Baal, right? But he leaves Asherah alone, the ones that worship Asherah alone. And then later, Elijah, he destroys tribes with fire from the heavens and all of this, and then he leaves on a chariot of fire. But it's very interesting how they leave a little clue there. For some reason, the prophets of Asherah were not sacrificed in the Bible, but the prophets of Baal were. And it's very interesting when you go into some of the names of these, because they have advanced knowledge in the characteristics, the symbolism that they talk about. Even like the Phoenicians, they had Baal Hadmon was one of their gods that they worshipped, Baal Hadmon, and literally that translates to Lord of the Fiery Pillars. Lord of the Fiery Pillars, and they show the sun god. He's a sun god and a storm god, and they show him with ram horns spiraling out from his head, and that's exactly how the sun works. If you look at the sun, if you're, these deities represent the suns themselves, and they're shown with these spiraling out structures. That's called the Parker spiral in plasma physics. And the solar wind, it spirals out. It spirals out from the sun, and that's exactly how they show the solar deity. In many ways, you'll see them. Baal Hadmon will be perched on his throne with his spiraling out horns, and that's the Parker spiral. It's very cool. Is that why
you spiral out?
That's one of the reasons. Yeah, the what comes from the sun spirals out. Yeah, I've been saying that for like 10, 20 years almost. Like probably 15 years.
Thumbnail tonight. I know that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And what comes from the sun spirals out to Earth.
Yeah. One thing, Sovereign Cosmic Wildman wanted you to go in on Yahweh, because a lot of people here. I'll just put the comment up. He said, "I would like to hear Ra Castaldo elaborate on Yahweh. Is it a false god?" A lot of people will say that that Yahweh was Enlil, or he was like what the Gnostics called Yaldabaoth, and that this was like a archonic or god that was that birthed the archons, and that it was like a false god who kind of hijacked this matrix, and it kind of goes way far into a lot of different conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? But there's really no proof to back that up. But I mean, besides like just what we hear, But I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that? And what do you think about Yahweh?
Well, it's another Hebrew term for using a God's name. I mean, they use Yahweh in very similar ways as Baal, and in Gnostic texts and many other texts that they use, right? So, like Yahweh is described as riding on the clouds, the way Baal is described as riding on the clouds. So there's so much different. It's just Canaanites had ways of describing things. They had different pantheons, and the Hebrew, they all have. It's all different pantheons. So I would say that most likely, most of the gods that are talked about are false gods, right?
Yeah.
And there's only one God, and that's the universe. There's no one dude in the clouds that's going to be, I don't agree with that outlook of looking at like there's some dude in the heavens that's ultimately judging us. You know, like
I agree.
it's not that. You got cosmic energies and laws and cosmic principles, and when you disobey those cosmic principles and go, then you're working with the evil of the universe, right? And if you stay in harmony with the certain cosmic laws and principles of the universe, then you're in harmony with God, right?
Yeah.
So I don't look at it like, I would say they're all false gods that's talked about. Even like in the Bible, a lot of what's talked about is like there's jealousy going on amongst these gods. And see, that to me, that's not ultimately a divine being that would create the heaven and the universe. That's some sort of primordial ancient archetype that is in the consciousness of humans, you know, and somehow the thoughts of man, you know, they make religions out of certain things. You know, it's just unfortunately we want to make, like, most of the things in Christianity are that people believe are human made, human thoughts.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the Bible or Jesus or anything, right? So yeah, I would say that a lot of it is false worship, you know.
Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, it seems like all religion was man-made, and it was all, like it was, made for control. It seems like, that it seems like different ways to control people.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of the worship of Yahweh was merged with the Canaanites and all of that. So, like, you know, it's a whole bunch. And plus, what do we really know if we're getting the real truth in the writings, right? So
yeah, I got a question back to the topic of tonight to kind of come full circle. So back to this Nephilim star magic. When you have people who are doing like dark spells, are people like doing like casting dark spells to like ancient Nephilim entities? Is that who they're eventually like casting spells to? Are ancient Nephilim entity or ancient Nephilim, are they demonic, or are they like a primordial entity that people cast spells to and stuff like that?
yeah, I mean, in Italian mysticism, we call the Gregori, right? The Gregori are basically the watchers, the fallen angels, right? In Christianity. But in Italian mysticism, they're not looked at as fallen angels. They're not looked at as evil. They're looked at as guardians of the dimensional planes, guardians of, whether you're lighting an incense to meditate or you're praying the rosary. I mean, whatever you're doing, you're opening up those dimensional planes, right? You're communicating with the cosmos. You're communicating with the etheric realms. You're communicating with the stars and the sun, right? When people ultimately pray, who are you praying to? The heavens, right?
Yeah.
You're praying to the heavens. So whatever you do, we believe that the heavens are guarded by intelligences, right? And these intelligences are the celestial lights of the universe. When you say gods, right? When you say deities, you can look at them as the celestial lights, whether it's pulsars, quasars, suns, comets, meteorites, supernova explosions, suns, moons, whatever it have you. These are the gods, the watchers, the celestial lights, right? And ultimately, a sage or a seer or a rishi in Sanskrit, they learn the language of the light, learn the language of the celestial lights to be in tune with and when I say the light language, I don't mean like when people start channeling some weird light language. I mean being in tune with what's pulsating from the sun and the stars, the plasma streams of the universe, right? And when you ultimately communicate with the sun and the stars, right, that's communicating with the Grigori, right? So it's looked at differently in Christianity. You know, the Watchers are looked at, and the Grigori are looked at as fallen angels, you know, evil beings that created a race of Nephilim. And in Christianity, they're looked at as all evil. But there's not, I don't think it's just cut and dry like that.
Yeah.
There's good and evil of all types of things, right? And there's, I know for sure that there's guardians of outside of this dimension, right?
Yeah.
Any sort of work you do, you're communicating with other dimensional energies, right?
Yeah.
And that this is the origins of star magic. I mean, literally, I told you, you have the ancient. This is the origins of it from as far as our recorded history. The first astrology and knowledge of the stars that reemerged after the flood is Chaldean and Persian and that sort of area, the Magi and all that, right? So those Persian, the first time I started learning knowledge about this, dude, I was in middle school, and I naively played around with some of this, right? And so literally there's certain postures you can take, right? You have the Persians had the 4 royal stars that I mentioned, right? You have the star Aldebaran, which marks the vernal equinox, and that's the watcher of the east. So I'm not going to tell you exactly what you would do, but there's a certain posture you can take to align yourself. You could do this even in the mirror, or you're looking in the mirror, you're taking a certain posture, and you're in a certain position with a certain star, right? And you open up the gateway to communicate with the watcher of the vernal equinox or Aldebaran, and it has that for certain times of the year. So, and on like the summer solstice, it's Regulus. He's the watcher of the south, and Regulus is the star that's like in the heart or in the paw of Leo constellation, right? And you have Regulus, you have Fomalhaut is another one, and what was the other one? Fomalhaut is the watcher of the north. I'm missing one. You had Aldebaran, Regulus, Fomalhaut. I think I'm missing one. But wait, yeah, Aldebaran, Regulus, Formaldehyde, and Antares. Antares, that's enough. Antares is the autumn equinox. That's the watcher of the west. Yeah. So you'll have, and then you'll stand in certain positions to open up the gateway to communicate with these watchers. And there's the Grigori, they oversee in their watchtowers, and that's in certain watchtowers of the sky. Even John Dee and Edward Kelly, if you might be familiar with John Dee and Edward Kelly, how they made the Enochian alphabet and they were communicating with them, right? Magic. They had to have their watchtowers, right? They made their little table.
Yeah, do you think Jimi Hendrix had a bigger meaning for what he sung all along the watchtower?
Well, I don't think it was his song originally anyway. I think it was Bob Dylan that wrote that song.
Really?
Yeah, I think if you look it up, I think it was Bob Dylan's song originally. I'm not sure though. Don't. One of the songs that he did was Bob Dylan, but I'm not sure if that was Jimmy's original song.
Yeah, it's still interesting though for whoever wrote it. You know what I mean?
It is very interesting. Yeah. Well, when you have a ritual circle, you have the watchtowers, the 4 corners of the ritual circle, and that's the 4 watchers in their 4 watchtowers, right? And it's used just like military use watchtowers. They use watchtowers to hang over on top to watch over and be guardians, right? So the watchers are in their guardian watchtowers, and if you want to communicate with these other dimensional planes, you got to do the rites of calling to summon the watchers of their watchtowers, right? It's ancient star. I don't like to reveal too much information for people because I don't want people to play around with it. But
I think that's amazing, though. It seems like you know about like the dark magic. It seems like to know like what you know, and you to practice the good, you have to know the dark magic too, and you seem to know a lot about it.
I do. I know it because my whole bloodline are called the Tanara, right? And not everybody in our hereditary line inherits these traits. You can go several generations and not inherit it. But the people that do inherit these traits in my bloodline are usually born in the call, like myself, right?
Yeah.
And going back hundreds, if not thousands of years, my bloodline are known as the Tanara, and we're the ones that hold and pass down the stellar mysteries, right? And my godmother Lori Bruno, she was also born with a call on her head and face. I was born with the full call, right? So we're not spell makers, we're spell breakers. We help break people that have been inflicted by dark magic. And I've been doing this since I'm in middle school. I've been helping people, clear people from dark energies and break spells that they've been inflicted by, right? So I don't.
You're it's spiritual warfare, like because you talked about like astral battles too and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, dude, I've tried I've lost spiritual battles, bro. I've tried to help people, and then the next thing you know, just things start going wrong in my life. Things start breaking down. Things start right. It's just it's we're in a spiritual battle every moment of our life. Don't look at it as a war. You got to live in the now, but you got to realize that every decision you make has consequences. Everything that you do, like even when, dude, I'm not perfect, right? Dude, I'm a human. I get pissed off and I get mad at my family and I yell sometimes to get pissed. But like, you got to realize there's so much influencing that. There's so many forces behind what, and it's happening in dream time, and most of us are not aware of it. Right, it's happening in our spiritual selves. This happens in dream time, dude. Like these astral battles that take place at certain times of the year, it happens in dream time, right? And you have ultimately people that travel. All of us are traveling in our dreams, are living another life, another version of us. Is our spiritual life is in our dream time. That's what happens there. It manifests in this reality that we're in, right? So most people in their dreams, they're going to go towards either one faction or the other, right? So you're going to either use your dream time to travel into the collective to do things that's either going to help the collective consciousness, or you're going to do things in dream time where you're going to poach from the collective consciousness. And some people don't even realize they're involved in this, where you'll have people that in dream time, they're literally traveling in the astral to steal the energy and abilities and life force of others to give themselves more material gain, more riches, more abilities in this physical reality.
Yeah.
Right. And they'll suck the life force of others to give themselves more power, more control, more riches, more materialism, and more shine in this physical reality. But spiritually, they're being sucked dry. They're exchanging their own life force now that they're sucking from others, but they're also exchanging their own life force for material gain.
Yeah. And is it always that when you're dealing with magic? Is like, does something always have to be sacrificed for riches to be gotten?
If you're dude, if you're not using your own creative expression and your own abilities and your own energies to manifest for yourself, then if you're using like that's why there's whole bloodlines that that's where some of the origins of the Strega name actually came from, because some of these bloodlines were evil, right? And the word Strega actually comes from strix, the Latin term strix, which means screech owl, right? Because in nighttime, an owl completely travels in silence to snatch up their prey. You won't even hear the owl's wings moving in the night. It'll just cut through the silence of the darkness, and it can snatch an owl can snatch another bird out of the tree in complete silence, not even make a noise in the
Yeah,
dark of night.
one time I saw this. This freaked me out, but this is how nature is. Like this is kind of like a. So one time I saw this video of these little ducklings. They were by a side of a pond. I guess the mother keeps the ducklings on the side of the pond. You know, like she tries to hide them, but this owl just comes out of nowhere and it just stomps it just pounces on the little duckling and it traps it, and it's just like. You know what I mean? They're vicious, man. They can be vicious when they want prey. You know, like,
yeah, no, but like, birds of prey are vicious, bro. They're like dinosaurs. They're primal, ancient.
And do you know, this is a complete different thing, but do you know ducks have to basically sleep with one eye open? Like because my friend takes care of these ducks at the park. There's a whole there's like 30 or 40 of them, and they're like
wow, that's quackers.
Yeah, it's hilarious, But like they but he told me that they basically have to sleep with one eye open because there's so much prey trying to get them all the time, from huge fish underneath trying to jump up and like suck them down to like birds of prey, to, like wolves and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? It would suck to be a duck. It would really fucking suck to be a duck. Like it would. I mean, like first of all, you don't even have any fucking arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then,
well,
like,
you can fly though. You can fly.
I mean, I don't know.
You could fly.
Yeah, but I wonder who made like the. I mean, like I wonder when you think about like the creation of the earth and stuff. I wonder who made this and like made all.
Yeah, well, dude, that goes right to the Nephilim tribes too. Especially like, look at a fucking giraffe. You ever see a giraffe? Look at a giraffe. It's got like characteristics of all these different animals, and it doesn't even have vocal cords. So literally, a giraffe can be in the grips of death and will not utter a sound. And then if you see its eyes, a giraffe has these soulful eyes, really soulful eyes, like where they don't have vocal cords, but they speak volumes with their eyes. Like if you look at a giraffe's eyes, bro. Have you ever seen a giraffe at a zoo? They have.
I've seen owls' eyes. Owls have weird eyes too. Their eyes look like portals.
Yeah, but they're not soulful. They'll look right through you, like they can see your fucking death. An owl, right? Like, but a giraffe's eyes are very warm and soulful, right? And the name giraffe is very similar to seraph.
Yeah.
Right. The seraphim, seraph, giraffe. It's very similar. And a giraffe looks like a hybrid. It looks like it was put together like it's a horse and a fucking camel and all this shit mixed together, right? Look at it. And dude, it can't even make a sound, even if it's in the grips of death. Like if a lion's taking it down, it won't even utter a sound. But it speaks to you with its eyes. It's very interesting.
Wow, that's insane. I gotta look at a giraffe's eyes. I should pull it up.
Their eyes are so the eyes of a giraffe are like soulful, dude. Soulful. It's got like beautiful. It's got eyelashes, and it's like a soulful eye, right? And it's like a beautiful brown soulful eye, and I think it partly has to do because they can't even make a noise. They don't have vocal cords. As far as I remember. Yeah, look at their eyes, dude. Very soulful eyes.
Yeah, they're like exotic,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say very exotic.
And they have I don't think they have vocal cords, if I remember correctly. I don't think they can even make a sound, even if they're like in the throes of death.
Would camels be like that too then?
Like camels make sounds. They make sounds. I've had camels hiss and spit at me before.
But they're you've been around camels? Like are you in Egypt or something?
No, I've been at the zoo with camels, and yeah, and shit. And I rode one once when I was a kid. At the Dutchess County Fair, I rode one when I was a kid. Yeah, they had one there, or somewhere like that. Was it it might have been a llama that spit at me.
That's hilarious, though.
Yeah, it was like something actually fucking like spit at me at the zoo. It was like either a llama or a camel, something like. But camels make noises too. They make noises, but I don't think the giraffe can make a noise. I think it's like it's got no vocal cords. I got to look it up to make sure, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that.
Dude, we have a couple UFC fans in this show tonight. I don't mean to steer the conversation, but like I just got to say, I was so happy for Charles Oliveira this weekend, man. He put in a flawless performance. And, like, I mean, that just goes to show you how good that, like, Ilya Taporia is, that he was able to beat Charles Oliveira easily. And then if you see what Charles Oliveira did this to Gamrot, and Gamrot is a top 5 easily. Gamrot beat Armin Sarukian. You know what I mean? But then Charles lost to Sarukian, so that shows you MMA math doesn't work. You know what I mean?
No, MMA math doesn't work because people they don't realize how human these guys are. You can literally go in there, and you ever feel like just not doing something?
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes, like you have to go in there to fight, and you don't feel right. And shit's not working. You know, like think about like what they go through too. They cut like 30 pounds right before the fight, and then they have to put that weight back on in one night. It's fucking horrible for your insides, your organs, and everything. Your brain is not fucking like working right because you're literally starving. You're dehydrating your brain and your whole body to the brink of death to make it on the scale at whatever weight. Right? This is the average UFC fighter. They're literally dying to make the scale. Right? When you're cutting 30 pounds in a couple of days, you're dying.
Yeah.
You're dying.
Nobody should cut that amount of weight.
You're dying, dude. You're dying.
Yeah.
That's like taking you, throwing you in on a stranded island with no water, hardly any water and hardly any food, and you're trying to physically exert yourself to stay alive. That's what a weight cut is. You're literally you're dehydrating yourself. I know, you know, I'm trying to tell people out there. You're dehydrating yourself in every way, and at the same time, physically exerting yourself, basically dying. You're dying to make it on the scale. And then some people in one night are gaining 20, 30 pounds back in 24 hours. You know how horrible that is for you? And then you're supposed to go fight another man that is a world-class fighter who wants to fucking take your head off.
It's insane, dude. Remember, I think me and you were talking about this the other day on like a personal conversation. Was it me and you who said McGregor looked really bad when he fought Aldo? He looked like he was on death.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he knocked him out in a few seconds, but when he got on the scale, go look at that weight. Go look at what he looked like when he weighed in at 145.
Yeah.
He looked like he just got taken out of a crystal meth run in a trailer park for like 6 months.
Yeah, he did. He honestly did, dude. It was hilarious.
Right? It looked like he's been fucking cooking meth for like fucking 6 years in a park.
Dude, do you remember? This is so hilarious. Do you remember when McGregor fought Mayweather and he came up to the scale and he had a boner?
Yeah, he's always dude. I had someone shit themselves when I wrestled them.
No way.
Straight up shit himself. Yeah.
What?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my god! Like, what? I mean,
I've peed and stuff before and done like shit when after the fight. Like I realized, oh shit, like piss came out and all types of shit. So like, yeah, I mean, I never like full on shit, but like you get shit that comes out, bro. Sometimes when you're going physically exerting yourself like that. Like I've had like stains in my underwear from competition before. Not full on like a big turd in my underwear, but like you know, yeah, shit happens, dude. Sometimes when you get kicked in the right place, you're bending over the right way. Shit just happens, dude. Yeah. You know, like, you know, and yeah. So yeah, shit can happen. I never had a boner fucking fighting though. That's kind of weird.
That was really strange that he had that, man. It was kind of weird. It was really
that's weird.
I've probably all the testosterone in the world.
I've had my dick like fucking disappear though during weight cuts where it like shriveled and went inside. I had to pop it back out.
Yeah. Dude, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like the head went inside the shaft. I'm like, what the fuck?
Because that's fucking hilarious. That's hilarious.
That's when you know you're either cutting weight or you're dope sick or some shit, dude. That's the only way that shit happens. Or like the only other time that happened to me in my life is when I got a reaction from, dude. It was so funny. I had eaten strawberries, and the strawberries must have not have been cleaned off good enough. They had something on, like whatever from the spray from the fucking and pesticides. Who knows? But I ate strawberries, and like 10, 15 minutes later, I had hives everywhere, and my dick literally fucking went inside. Like everything just recoiled, right? Dude, I drove to my dad's house. I'm like, Dad, what's going on? I was like, look at my dick. He was like, oh, that's just happened to me before too. I'm like,
Dude, that's hilarious, man. That's fucking hilarious.
It was crazy, dude.
This is insane, man. And Crystal says, "Jesus, what did I tune into?"
Dude,
we get back on target, guys.
I'm as real as they come, brother.
Kelly says,
I'm as real as they come. Yeah, that's it's funny shit though. That's scary. That's scary. Yeah. See, women don't have to deal with that. Women have to deal with other crazy stuff.
Yeah, she said. Kelly says, from what I can see, I feel bad for McGregor's wife and side bitches. Sausage ass hammer. That's ridiculous. Yeah. I don't want to comment on other guys. Johnson.
He wasn't like he had a big Johnson anyway.
Yeah, like
he got a little Irish stick, a little Irish stick.
So yeah, I'm just seeing where we could go. I mean, if we cover something else, or if you want to do a couple readings, it's up to you.
Yeah, we could do some readings if people want some readings. We could totally do that.
Would anybody like a reading? You can,
that is some what I shared though is pretty deep knowledge. People don't realize that babies are given a code at birth in hospitals. And whether you want to believe that it's used in star magic or not, this information, it's coveted. It's given out. It's sold, right? Yeah. And too. I mean, look how many missing children there are all over the world, right? So
that's a good point. Yeah, and that's from like sacrifices and stuff, right? Like human trafficking and satanic cults and stuff like that. Like it's a real thing, right?
I had to take. Bro, why do you think I make? Why do you think I do what I do for a living? Make energy devices, do readings for people? Because like in my early 20s, I had to fucking take my power back because I realized my life was being influenced in this way, and I went to war, bro. I literally had a psychic war with Michael Aquino like 25 years ago.
Wow.
Him and his whole temple.
Oh, you met him at Nashville or what?
Him and his whole temple is set. They had a whole thing going on, and they were like attacking people that were trying to help others, people that had psychic abilities, children that had psychic abilities, and I was one of these targets when I was younger.
Wow.
Service Planet Radio. I don't like to talk about some of my personal experiences anymore because I feel like I get lumped in with all the fucking people that are bullshit. All these because this whole community has become a group of people without singling anybody out and mentioning names. This community has become a bunch of people that are peddling outlandish stories. And
I agree.
And I grew up on the streets too. Like I'm not just a psychic, I'm a scholar, but I'm also street smart. I'm a weird combination of person, right?
That's how I am. I think that's why me and you get along.
Yeah, like I'm not just a scholar. I'm street smart, and I grew up around a lot of drug dealers and different people. Like I know a lot of different sides of life, and I've seen con men before, so I can see right in this community. People that peddle outlandish stories, they want to be the only one on the block with the outlandish story that people listen to. So when someone else comes on the block with their outlandish story, they'll be like, that guy's shit is garbage. I got this shit right here, Yeah. And that happens. And instead of people being colleagues in this community, it ends up being competition. I just spoke at a conference last weekend, and Some people there acted like everyone else was their competition instead of their colleague.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you become colleagues and people start to not just be somebody's cheerleader. Everybody nowadays, they want you to be their cheerleader. They want to do their presentation and be like, oh, you're great. That's great. But that's not how things really get learned. You get learned through questioning things. I see people that can't face adversity. They're not experts. They don't know what the F they're talking about. If you face adversity with your information, like if someone questions it and doesn't understand it and they want you to explain it more, you should be happy because now you get to show your depth on the topic. Now you get to show how much of an expert you are. If I'm talking and I'm sharing about information in my research and my work and someone questions about what I'm saying, inside I'm happy now because guess what? Now I get to show the depth of what I know. And then sometimes when I'm asked to show the depth of what I know, I learn new things about myself because I'm forced to push myself to the limit and past the limit of what I brought to the table, right? Most people, they can only bring to the table their little presentation that they made for the conference. And as soon as the question, you have to speak off the cuff and there's a Q&A, they're lost. I shine when I have to speak off the cuff because I have depth on what I know, right? And I don't have to call myself an expert. It's what I know speaks for myself. I don't have to put myself in a label. Other people can call me an expert sometimes. I don't call myself that. But then you got people calling themselves experts going up there and they don't know shit.
Yeah.
They don't know shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's unfortunate because these are the people nowadays, our world, the majority of people, they don't want the truth. They want entertainment. They want to be entertained. They don't want the truth. And then when someone comes along with me and I'm a real motherfucker now with some real truth and I'm not going to just be your cheerleader and I'm a scholar at the same time, people get intimidated by that because you can't just bullshit me. And I'm not just going to swallow what you say. I'm going to question it.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you out there, everybody, don't just believe everything I say. Question it. Your authenticity is the fucking only thing that you have out there that can't be taken from you. So stick with your authenticity.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't just be a cheerleader because somebody has 150,000 followers or 1 million followers or whatever. You know.
Someone, I think was that you said that on the phone, or you're like, your authenticity means everything in this.
Yes. Yeah, I told you that earlier today because it does, dude. I've always kept my authenticity no matter where I am in life. And some people hated me because of it. And some people love me because of it. But you know what? At the end of the day, I felt okay with myself because I compromised myself a few times in my past. I compromised my morals. I compromised what I believed for the sake of someone else's feelings. And I swore long ago I would never do that again. Yeah. And I won't do it. Right? Unless I have to compromise my morals and feelings for the sake of my daughter or my wife, for their health or for their well-being, I'm never compromising myself again in any way, unless it's to help my own family or someone I really love, right? Because I've agreed with people I didn't really agree with because I've wanted them to like me before, and I felt like a whore afterwards.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, because you weren't.
I felt like I prostituted myself because I told one person, a friend of mine, the person's full of shit, and then when I met the person, I agreed with what they were saying just so I didn't fit in, you know. And I've done that before, and it makes me feel like I just prostituted myself. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't really believe what this guy's saying or this person's saying, but and I don't like doing that, dude. And I don't do that. And there's a way to intelligently not agree with someone, right? We should be able to, dude, I don't care if someone's your wife, your brother, your sister, your mother, your best friend. No one's going to do something 100% of the time that you agree with.
Yeah. I agree.
And nowadays, if you say one thing to someone that they don't like, they think you're their enemy.
Yeah. Yeah, people have been flying off the handle lately. You're right. That's a really good
because you know why? Because all these people are out there speaking when they're not really experts. So when they get put on the spot, Rob, they can't handle it.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want to be put on the spot in front of everybody watching because they don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah. If you know what you're talking about, you should be able to be on the spot. I mean, I'm not saying you should be able to take a barrage of criticism, but if somebody's intelligently questioning what you say, they're not your enemy. They're smart.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Because I'm not just going to accept something because you said it. I want to know.
You want to verify it. You want to verify.
Give me some fucking, details and shit. If you're going to tell me something outlandish, I need some outlandish fucking evidence.
Yeah. I agree, man. I agree.
All right. Yeah. So if people want some readings, we'll do some readings. If not, we can continue for a couple more minutes and do some more topic. Let me know.
We got one here. Kelly, I put it up on the screen. She says, I could definitely use a reading right now, how my life's been flip-flopping. She's had some issues with her job, I know. And if you guys want to donate, it does help out. And I like to help out Ra at the end of the night. I like to give Ra a little bit of money. So, when you're supporting the podcast for reading, you're supporting me and you're supporting Ra. So, yeah, definitely.
Rob's really good with that, people. I need to give Rob his props for a minute because Rob mentioned Leak Project before. I've gone on Rex before he started over his channel. I was going on his channel once a month. He never gave me $1, bro. I've done some videos for him that got 400,000 views where I know he made like 30 grand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never. And, I could come on your show and you'll throw me like $30, $35 and I know that you didn't even get that much donations from it.
Yeah. Because I feel like when people are being psychic.
I know. Dude, I know.
Using their ability,
You're a good dude, bro. You're a good dude.
Like I don't pay the regular guest. I only pay people when they do readings because I feel like you're using your talent. So it's like you should be rewarded for it.
Oh yeah, dude. I agree because but it gets us like more customer. It gets people more. It gets me more noticed because say on my website people pay $100 for a reading. I'll come do like 10, 15 readings for you for and I'm not even expecting money. So. It doesn't, dude. I did readings for. Ask anybody that knows me a long time. I did them for free until 2015.
Yeah.
I did them and then in 2015, people started convincing me that I need to charge for it because, I was taught originally not to charge for healing, anything that has to do with healing, but I eventually agreed with people that there is you got to have some sort of energy exchange and they got to pay you for your time. And then, I started having a family and money became more important. And because dude, money was never important to me. For real, it has never been important to me my whole life. Now is anybody knows me, they'll know I've always lived day to day. I have never saved money. I've never put money away. I've always been just living day to day. And then when I had a daughter and all of a sudden I have to worry about, other things. It's very hard for me to the money part of life. I don't like it, but I hate it actually. I really do. I actually feel like we should have some sort of bartering system. I don't know if we can ever go back to that, but where everybody has things that they like to do and everybody's different. Everybody has individuality. So why doesn't everybody just pitch in? The people that do music, they provide the entertainment. There's people that love to build houses.
Yeah.
Why make people do carpentry that don't like it? The people that love carpentry, let them be the carpenters and the builders, right? There's some people that like making roads and stuff. Why give people jobs they hate? Everybody should be doing what they love and exchanging goods this way. There's people that love growing crops. There's farmers that love it, right? Why make a kid who just happened to grow up in a farming family who doesn't want to be a farmer? Why force him to be a farmer?
Dude, Theo Vaughn said a joke one time. It was so funny. He said this Amish kid was out in the yard and he was using one of those old push mowers, and he looked at the kid and he was like, "This sucks. I'm not even supposed to be Amish. I'm adopted."
That's great. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like people should be doing what they love, and then it would be like where everybody exchanges goods that way, and nobody could slack because everybody has to do something to live.
Yeah.
And it would be so much better that way. It would be so much better way. But the girl that wanted the reading.
Yeah, this is Kelly. I'll put her back up here now.
Take care of her real quick because I have a little bit coming to me for a second. If I could do anything where money didn't matter, I'd be one of those people. But she wanted the reading, right, Kelly?
Yeah,
so something is coming to me that has to do with work for her. So I'm gonna have to look into it a little bit more to see if it's like a good or bad thing. But it has to do with her skills, her professionalism, and just her job in general, or work, or that kind of thing in general. It has to do with that, right? And I feel that also there's going to be a breaking away of something or cutting away. So I don't know if she's just leaving a job or in the middle of, or but it feels like there's a severing ties of jobs or severing ties of something important that has to do with income. So a parting of ways, or maybe it could be a broken friendship or relationship, but I feel like it has to do with a job type thing. So is that where she's at right now? Does that feel right?
Yeah, I knew she had an issue with like the lady she was taking care of or something like that. She was like,
someone parted ways. There's a parting of ways going on with her that I feel, and it has to do with money as well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I mean, maybe. Do you think it's the good thing for her? Do you think she should part ways?
Well, I think there's going to be a setback and a change for the worse at first, but there's going to be a reversal in plans. I feel something like that. It's a feeling of being hit with. I know you like when I do the tarot things. I feel like that she would have been like a Three of Pentacles with a Seven of Swords or something like that, where it's a cutting away, a severing of ties, but it could be like a setback and a change for the worse. So usually if you get like a Seven of Swords type symbolism, because I'm getting a symbolism where there's like sort of like a swords in the back, but more like you're carrying all this weight and you're trying to run away. That's sort of like what the Seven of Swords tries to be. Like you're getting hit with everything at once, and there's a change for the worse, but everything seems to be happening all at once. Like, and you're trying to escape from it and avoid and evade it, but there's no evading it. There's no making a getaway, and you're almost like, I better get the hell out of here while I can type shit. Right. So that's the kind of cutting away that I feel, breaking away, that kind of like, I better get the hell out of here before it's too late type shit, before shit really goes wrong. That's the kind of energy and kind of symbolism I'm getting.
Wow.
Like almost like, shit, I need to have a drink or something and get the fuck out of here before shit goes wrong. Shit like that. Like, oh man, we need to like blaze or have a drink because then I need to get the fuck out of here because shit's just about to hit the fan. That type of symbol.
Yeah.
I'm seeing roughy waters coming too, like roughy waters from it. So I don't know if she's going through hard times from it.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Kelly. Talk to me, Kelly.
I wish I forgot. I have the call-ins. I could be doing call-ins tonight. I could have.
Oh yeah.
Think about doing that. It's too late.
You gotta see some of the. You guys got to see some of the Herkimer Diamond stuff I made today too. Some really cool Herkimer Diamond stuff.
I got mine right here. Still, I got it right. I got my Herkimer Diamond thing right here, and then I got my crystal skull here somewhere. Where is it? It's fuck, man. I got it. I know I got it somewhere on my desk.
Bro, did you see the lava skulls I made?
No.
Oh shit!
I think you sent them to me, but like I didn't see them.
Check these shits. Hold on, let me get the black light.
I'm trying to look for my crystal skull. I have no clue where it is. Like, I don't know what the fuck. My desk is so messy, dude. It's crazy. I got fucking joints laying around here and stuff, and like all kinds of,
So I might have to turn out the lights to show you how really cool this is. But so if you guys want these, let me know, because I only can get a few others made, because there's not much. I don't have much of the material left to have these skulls made. So these ones are from Michigan. It's called Uperlite, and Uperlite is UV reactive. So this is what it looks like in the regular.
Yeah.
Right? Really cool. But then when you turn the lights out and you put the UV on it, look at the magma. See the orange?
Yeah, that's amazing. Holy shit. That's so cool. Oh my God. I want one of those. Those are cool.
I got only $45. I got only a couple left. So really
Whispering
cool.
Portals, what Laura says, she loves those skulls. I'll put it up on the thing. She says she loves them. So yeah, guys, go to the mysticalspiralstore.com and get one. You can get it for $45. Mention the Typical Skeptic podcast so he knows you came from my show.
Yeah, if you want, guys, I'll post the coupon code too, so you guys have, because I don't know if there's a coupon code up there right now, but I do put coupon codes throughout the year, and I will give you your own coupon code so you guys have it. Yeah, dude, I do custom skulls, so I have all size skulls, and if you guys want any size skull, like I do custom skulls as well. So the bigger ones, you got to have custom ordered, because it costs me a lot to get the material to make these. So, and these are all made by the Mystical Spiral Store team. Everything is hand carved by us and hand wrapped by us. So we do everything in house, and I use one other carver to get some of the crystal skulls carved, but everything else is done here. I do all the copper work. I do everything, and I'm made some. This one, I don't know. Yeah, this one, I think I just put this one up today too. This is a heavy gauge Herkimer diamond. Look how big the heavy the copper is. Really nice heavy gauge Herkimer copper.
Amazing, dude.
Really nice, right? And yeah, there's so much, dude. I got, and I sold out the volcano agate skulls. I have these beautiful volcano agate skulls. We made 3 of them, and they were already bought. But if you guys want some more of those volcano agate skulls, because they're UV reactive as well, let me know, and I can have another one made for you in about a week. But volcano agate is another UV reactive material that's incredible. It turns like Incredible Hulk green in the black light. It's friggin' dope. Really cool. Yeah. And
I wanted to tell you something too. Like, I just get your opinion on it, see if you would want to do this. I'm thinking about doing an online conference because I need to try to raise some money. But I was thinking about having you, Matthew Mornian, like Indigo Angel, like my closest friends in the community.
Let's
and then
do it.
One of Indigo Angel's friends. I don't know, but then it's like I would want to pay the presenters too. But I don't even know how much I would charge. I was thinking about doing an online conference before I do like a physical conference.
We should do it. We should do it for sure, dude. I can help you. I can help you get people too. I can help you get some people.
Yeah,
Well, see, I just did a conference. If people don't know, I just spoke at my first conference that I actually spoke at. I've been to conferences in the past before, but I stayed away from them for many years because I don't really like to click up like that. I've never been really. I've always done my own thing, but I need to get more out there. I need to provide for my family. I need to. People don't realize. Maybe some people do that have been following my work has influenced many famous authors, actors, musicians, a lot of people out there that you'd be surprised over the years. Yeah. And I'm almost 50 years old now, 47 years old, bro. I've been doing this for a long time. People mistake me for being, the people at the conference were coming up to me asking me if I was even 30 years old. They're like, you look like you're in your late 20s. How old are you? And I'm like, what? I can have a child that old.
We got good genetics, dude. Good genetics.
I think people misunderstand. Like, I've been doing this a long time, dude. I have a lot of life experience. There's a lot of stuff that I bring to the table, And
yeah, you do, man. You do. That's why you're one of my favorite people to have. That's why I said if I was having an online conference, you'd be one of the first people that I would.
Thank you.
On it, you know?
Like I blew them away at the conference, and people couldn't believe that was my first conference. You know, like I spoke alongside Laura Eisenhower, Kerry Cassidy, Brad Olson, Mike Barra, Heather Holmes, a guy named JP, and me. Yeah. That was the whole people, and I got to make really good friends with Mike Barra. We got, and I already knew Brad Olson. I already knew Laura. So Laura's the one that got me into the conference. And so I spoke both days. I did presentations, and then I also had a booth both days the whole time there. So a lot of people got to see my work that never knew about me. I got to share my research, bro. And I got to tell you, not many people are decoding ancient symbols like the Ankh. Like I don't know if people realize, but I feel like it's not being recognized. It's one of the most groundbreaking translations in our modern times of any ancient symbol. I literally broke down and decoded the most ancient and important symbol of the ancient world, the Ankh symbol, which is the coronal mass ejection loop coming from the sun. And also, this is a delivery system for souls. This is how souls come from the portal of the sun, get thrown by the golden noose of the gods right into our magnetosphere. And this plasma light is channeled down. Our souls are pulled down into the wombs of the mother, and they wrap around the spine of the baby in the womb. Do you realize even at conception, there's what's called a zinc spark? At the moment the egg is fertilized in the womb, that very second, we have to use advanced microscopic instruments to see this. But do you realize the very second that the conception happens, when a woman's impregnated, that very second there's a light that sparks inside the womb? Literally, they call it a zinc spark because it happens from certain zinc and stuff, right? But it's way more to it, dude. It's the light of the soul. It's the light of the souls literally coming into the head of the being, and it's more to it, right? We have
then would you say, does the soul come through the crown?
The soul comes through the head of the baby and wraps around the spine and impulses information up the spine into the back of the brainstem. And throughout our lives, that's how our soul is connected to our physical meat sack, right? It's connected through the head. And if you even see, we sort of have these like almost like tectonic plates in our head, like similar to the ground. Like we have different plates and because of the shift, they say that when a baby's first born, I don't know if you've ever held a baby when they're first born, but almost for like the first year of their life, there's a window on top of their head where you can literally put your thumb into and push it down. It's like, whoa!
Soft spot. It's a soft spot.
Yeah, it's scary. And the doctor will just tell you the medical way that happens because of the growth plates and different shit that happens, right? But it's like a rectangular square. And I'm convinced that this is the area where the plasma blue light of the soul enters in. And it literally wraps around, spirals around the spine of the baby, and it impulses your personalities, your characteristics, your likes, your attributes, your intelligences, your abilities, your hidden talents, ancestral memories and ancestral, all sorts of, it comes from the spirit ancestral realm right to this physical realm, this new life, and it impulses all that knowledge to you. Right. This is why you have, certain things that you just like all of a sudden are good at when you're a kid for the first time, where you never had no experience with it before. You have certain tastes as a kid, or that's all coming from the ancestral soul world, right? From the light of the souls. And when we die, that plasma light, the soul, is severed, and our light body now goes into the other world. We have to merge with the light of the universe, the plasma universe, and we're stuck. We're wandering souls because we've lost the coordinates of the afterlife. We've lost the coordinates of heaven. And this is why Christ came back, to point us the coordinates to heaven, because we lost the coordinates to a higher harmonic evolution of souls.
Wow, that's amazing, dude. That's amazing. Wow. I was gonna say, while we're talking here, does anybody else want a reading? Anybody else with a reading? You can just step up now. You don't have to donate. You can just ask for a reading, and
Step
then
up, to the plate.
Yeah, and we'll try to get you a reading here. Just let me know. Let us know. You see here, the Andromeda would like a reading. Okay, there we go.
And you know what? I'll do a special deal tonight. Anybody who orders tonight from my store will get a free Herkimer diamond.
Wow, that's cool. You heard that, guys. So go to the mysticalspiralstore.com.
You guys got an hour left till midnight on the East Coast. Actually, I'll give you to the morning. I'll give you guys until the morning. By the time tomorrow morning comes, whoever, make sure you write Typical Skeptic next to it, and I'll throw you some extra goodies as well.
That's cool. That's really cool.
All right, so the Andromedan wants a reading. Hey, Andromedan, don't delete your YouTube. I saw earlier he was going to delete his YouTube. Don't delete it, brother. You got to subscribe to my channel. You won't ever get my channel then as well. Yeah. So, Andromedan, I'm getting I don't know if this has to do with you, but I'm feeling like somebody very aggressive, combative even, full of bravado. Someone being a real defender of what he believes. So and I'm seeing someone who has a dark complexion, black or brownish hair, brownish eyes, and almost I guess you could say sort of like a Knight of Swords symbolism, and this is not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like that there's somebody like this coming into your life that's going to bring you ambition, guidance, hope, aspiration, direction, and purpose in life. Yeah, it might even be a black guy that might come into your life. I know that might not be normal for you, but I feel like it's a person of dark complexion that might come into your life. Or it might be somebody that you're watching online that is going to influence you. Because I feel like that is going to give you a new sense of direction and hope. Optimism even. And make you, it's going to help you start to achieve goals that you want to achieve once you start to get that energy about you. And I feel like there's going to be knowledge and wisdom poured upon you this way. And I did a reading for someone last night that's one of my clients, and it was interesting what came up in the reading, that I felt like her life path was is about turning her experiences into wisdom. And I feel sort of similar what's with you, Andromeda. You got to start turning your many experiences and the many knowledge and information that you've heard throughout your life into actual wisdom.
Yeah, I like that for him.
Yeah. And I think there has been a whole bunch of, what was he saying? He says, I want a reading. Well, I'm having magical sigils coming to my mind. Also a general reading. Well, I gave you the general reading. Let's handle now that magical sigils part, because that magical sigils part might be your special little code popping up. Now, for some reason, I'm feeling like this Halloween is going to be important for you. Right? In Italian, we call this time of the year Festa dell'Umbra, right? The Shadow Fest. Right? This is the time where we get to know our shadow selves, right? And where we get to solve the mysteries of life and death and the underworld. All right? So I people don't tend to think rituals are evil. Everything is a ritual. Think about when people die. We have the same ritual of there's certain things that people do to get buried, and everything's a ritual. Every time you brush your teeth, you're doing a fucking ritual. You do certain ways you do everything every morning. So I definitely actually think you should create your own ritual or don't use the word ritual, your own prayer, if you don't like the word ritual. And I think you should do it this October 31st. And even if you want to use a crystal skull, it might help you get in more tune with your intelligence. Shapes have power, and crystals, especially piezoelectric crystals, they have generate electric currents where you can put thoughts and amplify them and what have you. So when you carve a crystal into a specific shape, every shape has power. When you specifically carve a crystal into the shape of a sentient being's mind and brain and skull, it's making like a bio computer for that type of shape, and it helps the human brain absorb ancient memory and ancient wisdom and all of that the crystals end up holding within them and amplifying and releasing when they're worked with, right? So I think you should do some sort of quartz, use some sort of quartz, and use some sort of mantra for yourself. I think would be great. Develop your own little mantra and your own little like thing, and I would do like a grounding sort of ritual for yourself so you can help channel in these energies, because I'm worried that the person that's coming into your life that's supposed to influence you in a positive way, you might not even be aware of that encounter. It might fly right by you. The chance might be missed, or you might not be, say you were supposed to tune in one day to a certain show to hear just the right person at just the right moment, or certain happenstances might get in your way where you're not going to miss that just the right moment for you to hear. But there's going to be someone that's going to influence you greatly, and if you're open to it, it's going to open up a whole new doorway for you. I feel it already. It might even be an African American or a black guy, because I feel like it's somebody of a dark complexion and a dark eyes.
Yeah, that's good.
Sometimes sometimes it's the person you least expect that could be your greatest teacher.
Yeah, I'll move to the next one. We have a couple more, but a bunch of people ask for them now. Joyful Jennifer, and Joyful Jennifer's amazing, and she's a really nice person. She's
wow. So I'm getting symbols of strength for Jennifer that but it's like the Key of 8 card, almost like the Strength card in tarot. So the symbolism and the meaning is very interesting for the strength symbolism, because I get strong symbolism when it comes to strength. When I know it has to do with person's inner strength, I start getting symbols for having people overcoming obstacles, people, but with her, it's in gentleness lies her true strength, right? And I'm saying that the most toughest of men in the world are some of the most gentle men in the world, right? And some of the most big. Look at Brad Olson for example. Guy's like 6'7", and he's like a gentle giant, really sweet man.
An amazing guy, yeah.
Very sweet, right? And sometimes this is how you gotta, you have to have a gentleness, and but on the other hand, sometimes the vindictiveness of the little guys who try to dominate, right? The little guys try to get domination by threat and by force and by deception and by tyranny. These little guys, right? And it's the big guys that sort of, have that sweet. So it's I think right here is where her strength lies. Like, she's got to overcome some intestinal fortitude she needs, like spiritual power more than material power right now. She needs not that physical strength, but that quiet determination, right? She needs sweet reason over roaring irrationality, right? And that whole ancient saying, you catch more flies with honey rather than vinegar, right? That story. How's that? I think that's how it goes, right? You catch more flies with honey rather than with vinegar. That's how she's got to be right now. She's got to have that gentleness approach, and with her gentleness is going to show her true strength and her true intestinal fortitude, because there's going to be right now. I feel she's going to have to dedicate herself to work more than she was previously, but it's gonna result in extra finances and things like that. But these good work habits are going to have to start coming and systematically getting better and better, and it's going to pay off. And this is coming soon, where she's going to have an even, or it's either already even started, where she's dedicating herself more to work, and it's coming, because I feel that's coming as well. So I could go all night as more shit comes up, but
I'll keep going. We have a couple more. Spiritual ascension. She said she'd like one if there's time, and then we have Laura after this, and then Jarek said, "Well, yeah, I'm sorry. I'll let you focus on each one. Sorry."
All right. So spiritual ascension.
She's from Australia.
She's a woman.
She called in one night when I did a call-in show. She's amazing. I made her a moderator. She's a really nice lady from down under.
All right, so I'm getting symbols like that. She needs to use moderation and avoid extremes. But she needs to experiment and and also speculate and try new things. But don't hesitate to get your toes wet in things, but you have to keep your one foot planted and stay grounded and not go too deep, because I think it would be absurd to dive into deep water before you learn the conditions of the water. I'm just using this as a metaphor. Before you dive into any waters, you should know the conditions of the water, how deep the water is, and what have you, right? I think this is some advice that she needs right now, is that don't go too deep into things until you know what the fuck you're getting yourself into. And I think that she needs this right now, because there's something that she's about to dive deep into and go extreme into, but she needs to have moderation and just get her toes a little wet. Don't dive deep in yet before you know what's going on. Take one step at a time before you get there. I know that sounds cliche, but this is about having management, organizational ability, and trying out different combinations until you get just the right one, and not just jumping deep in, measuring and mixing the different ingredients of your life till you get the right happy, harmonious concoction that is perfect for you, and not just dive into an extreme. And I think that can be something that might happen that she needs to look out for, right? And I don't think this is even a male or female per se that's going to be involved in her life. It's more like topics. It's like spiritually entering into matters. Spiritually, she's jumping full in and extremely into it. And that life force, that spiritual life force, it's not meant to go deep like that off a cliff. You got to ease into it, right? Before you have a premature Kundalini type of experience, right? So you got to have like a very harmonious approach to it all. I hope that resonates with you, spiritual ascension.
Yeah, that was great. She says she wants to deep dive. She says, huh? Then okay, we got just a couple more. This one's from Laura, Whispering Portals. Laura sees entities in her room and stuff.
I know the Whispering Portals.
Yeah.
Do I? Oh no, that's somebody else, dude. I know somebody else that has that same thing. It's a man though. Wow.
She sees entities in her. Like, she has pictures, like real pictures of entities and stuff. They're appearing for her and stuff. And I don't know. She's pretty cool. She came on my show too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is weird too. So she's coming into a completion of something. There's something that's been completed. I'm seeing like a journey has ended, a circle completing itself. she's very in tune with the times as well, and things like that are happening spiritually. Spiritual manifestation is strong, but this is like I there's strong magician type energies associated with this person. All right, I feel like definitely someone who's their own woman, own person, but there's a self-sustaining sort of energy there, and it's not like something that I'm saying is bad and anything, but there's
She wants to
So
know why she's seeing all
I'm
the
seeing
energy.
a lot of magic type of symbolism. So I don't know if she does it herself, but I'm seeing like a lot of magical type of ritual type magician type stuff. So is that something that she does?
She sees entities. She sees. I don't know. She never said that she does magic. Do you do magic?
Or
Laura?
has she in the past? Because I'm seeing like magical symbols, like ritual type work.
I wonder if that's why the entities it's like if someone did magic that like I don't
There's
know.
something. There's magic blocking her, or something.
Like I'm wondering why the entities are appearing for her. You know, like why they're coming into her space, and they're coming a lot. You know, they're all it's all the time. Like almost like there's a portal. Like someone like like I heard that entities can put sigils in your place, and then they can portal through through sigils.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things that's going on.
She says she doesn't do magic or the likes, and she sees a lot of beings like she says alien. She says.
Where does she see them telepathically?
No, she has pictures.
Or they come through. They come through her room.
Yeah, they come through. Like it seems like they're coming through portals or something.
Yeah, well, what's coming to me is that they're not extraterrestrials in any way, but they're coming from within Earth, from within dimensional Earth.
Yeah,
and from within beneath Earth. That's very interesting because I actually think there's a tunnel beneath her house, like a physical tunnel somewhere over there.
Wow.
There's some kind of
abducted. She said she just put in the chat. She said she's been abducted before.
Huh. There's some kind of tunnel that's related to this. Like deep, like that goes beneath, and it might be interdimensional, like some kind of tunnel. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Does she live near anywhere? There's a coastal region over there.
Did you hear that, Laura? She says she's had a vortex.
Weird, because now I'm seeing like a tunnel that's underneath a coat, like underneath the water, or
She says St. Louis. I don't know. There's something there. I don't know. There's something there. You know,
there is a main waterway there, but I'm seeing like a tunnel beneath water, like that's related to what she's talking about. And there's a lot of elemental beings that can make you seem like you're having contact with aliens, but they're coming from within our planet. I've had several experiences myself. I mean, there's all sorts of elemental type beings, and some of them can even veil themselves and push themselves into matter and make themselves seem like humans for short periods of time.
That's fascinating. That's insane. That they can do that. Like,
yeah, it's incredible, dude. And we literally have a network of megalithic structures where these fairy type entities enter into this realm. Right? People don't realize, dude, coming out from the core of our Earth are magnetic field lines, right? And these magnetic geomagnetic field lines, they go out all throughout the Earth. There's magnetic anomalies all throughout our Earth, and megalithic structures are built right on top of these magnetic anomalies. They're doorways for fucking other dimensional entities to enter into this realm, through these magnetic and plasma tunnels that form.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, there's all sorts of entities that can come in, and her house is on probably on top of, or her area is right on one of these magnetic field lines. You know, that's very important. And some of these beings look like you know, what people can describe as aliens or fairies or however you want to look at it. But you know, in every culture they have these type of entities. Like in Slavic, in Italian, in we have all of them. In Italian, you have all these different types of fairies, but they're called folletto or folletti, and you have different types like the lincetto and all these different types of. We have even the spirits that have to do with the auroras and the dawn, like Tasana is one of them, or Lo Spirito di Alba, the spirit of the auroras, the spirit of the dawn. So all of these entities, they come from within our planet as well. They're not necessarily extraterrestrial, but interdimensional. They're just as old as Earth.
Wow, that's amazing. Like that, yeah. It's like a whole. I was seeing if there was any other people who are. There's a couple of people. Kim, I've just put your comment up there. Did you want a reading, Kim Princess? She says she's open. I don't know if that means she wants.
There's some sort of like Dark Lord magical symbol that's associated with whispering portals, because I saw it once before when I did I had to do a reading on her once before in our live. There was like some weird dark magical being that I saw. Like, so there's something that's in control over these entities that she's seeing.
Wow.
So it's like a hidden realm of shadows that's being released into her room or whatever.
Yeah, and this is a new. That's amazing, by the way. That's fascinating. But what I was going to say is, this is a new girl. Her name's Kim Princess. I've never seen her in the chat before, so welcome, Kim. I'm glad you're here. That's why I kind of pulled up your name. I wanted you to get a reading because, like, you know, I want everybody new to subscribe, and you know, we don't get many. YouTube doesn't do me any favors as far as like promoting my channel. So it's good when we get new people that come in. So remember to subscribe, everybody. But yeah, I guess this will be the last one because I know you got a family and stuff. We got
she just had somebody come in their life that has money. Somebody just came. I feel like someone who's well off. Somebody that just came into the life that's well off, and there's going to be some sort of exchange or gift of a small sum of money or something. But this, you know, the material, I'm feeling like material growth is coming from this as well. So there's some sort of material luck, if you want to say, or material favors that's coming in the future where someone's going to be helping you financially. I feel like that's almost like a lucky break or you know, yeah, material wealth coming your way. I feel that kind of symbolism coming. Usually that comes with, like, you know, solar symbolisms, like, and especially if you're asking like a yes or no question, and then you get like some solar symbolisms to yourself, or suns are appearing to you telepathically, that's a yes, always a yes when that comes up. So does she have anything else that she wants to ask, or should I just do like a basic reading, because I feel like that's coming, but there's more to it.
Do you have a question, Kim? I'll give it. I think the chat's a little bit behind, so it might take a second for her to answer. But let me see here. She says, "Oh, I hope so." She says, "I need that. Lucky break is right," but she hasn't answered about the question yet. So
yeah, but like the thing I'm seeing is like almost like a marriage type thing, where like a happy home is like really like a dream come true.
She says her dreams are very vivid. She said it's like she travels. We all do, and we all astral travel, but it's just like how many people are lucid and remember it, and like
yeah,
you be very active in the astral.
Yeah, no, we're all on missions in the astral, dude, and usually the missions have to do with what's materializing in our physical life, and that's why most of you and most of us don't remember a majority of our dreams, because most likely those dreams are involved with us yearning and striving for material wealth and material gains and material and physical, better physical attributes and all of this. And if you really knew what your soul was doing in dream time, you'd be appalled sometimes. That's why sometimes you catch little glimpses of some of what's transpiring, what you're doing in dreams, and you're like, what the hell was that I just woke up from? Because your soul and your spirit is so corrupted from this reality that you are scrambling for shit in your dream time. Scrambling to find things that you thought you lost, scrambling for this, scrambling for that. It's a scramble for material gains, unfortunately. And that's completely the wrong reason for dream time. Dream time is for spiritual and collective healing and learning and wisdom and gathering, not for individual missions for material gains and powers.
Wow. This is amazing, man. This is really good stuff. You know,
I think we do the best shows together and the longest.
Yeah. We've been going about almost 2 hours. Yeah. Well, did you want to tell people where they can follow you and stuff, and how they could everything, all that stuff? Anything you want to promote?
Yeah, you guys, and plus, if you guys want any proof of that we have, and it's not just a physical inner earth or hollow earth. I don't really like that term hollow earth, but it's another dimension within earth that's accessed through certain caves, certain tunnels, certain frequencies. There's so many books that describe it too. Like, have you ever read The Kingdom of Agartha, this book?
No, is that good?
This was written in 18. This one was originally written in 1886. This is the 2008 reprint that I have, but this is The Kingdom of Agartha, A Journey into the Hollow Earth. This is one of them. There's another one that you can get into. This book actually influenced Hitler. This book is called The Coming Race. The Coming Race. This was written in the 1800s, as the later 1800s as well. And there's a species of underground beings called the Vrilya. The Vrilya, right? And then you can even go into you even can go into this book here. The Underground Journeys of Baron Trump. You know, the Ingersoll Lockwood. This was written in the later 1800s, where Baron Trump's marvelous underground journey. You know, they have another one there. I mean, there's so many books where you guys can go and understand that we live inside a world within inside a world. Admiral Byrd went right through this when he went into Antarctica, and he went into the entrance into the inner earth there. It's not just a physical, it's like another reality. It's not just you're going into a cave and it's another world in that cave. It's literally another atmosphere, another dimension of Earth.
Wow, that's dope, man. I
think I think that's actually where the Roswell craft came out. Everybody thinks it's from like space or whatever, but listen, Admiral Byrd's expedition, the big main one, was from 1946 to 1947. Right after he left his expedition in 1947 is when Roswell and all that happened. So I think whatever he stirred up on his mission in 1946 to 1947, people came out and followed and came to see what was going on and shit like that. So yeah, I think they came from within Earth.
Wow, dude, and you're saying you think inner Earth's like another dimension, basically. It's like when you enter into inner Earth, you're entering into another reality almost.
You can cross into certain doorways and certain caves, certain tunnels. It has to do with our magnetic field lines that are going through Earth and everything. There's around our planet, there's a huge dynamic landscape of light, it's a swirling world of plasma, the magnetosphere. And there's dimensions within dimensions, all in there. It's the many compartments of Gehenna in Hebrew, the many halls of Amenti in Egypt, the many realms of Hades. You know, it's all different names for it, but we have all sorts of realms within this planet. It's not just this frequency. You can look at it like a cascade of mirrors dripping into each dimension. As you get into different frequencies, you have different forms of light, you know, different light, and we get denser and denser, and as we get lower and lower, it gets more dense. You know, as you get higher and higher, it's more light, right? And it's like a cascade of mirrors of frequencies.
Wow, that's insane. It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
It's cascading mirrors dripping into each other.
Wow.
And that's why I always say, if people want to learn how, like a rishi, I would consider myself a rishi on my path to becoming a rishi once again. I once lived during ancient times, and my soul has traveled a cosmic conveyor belt of all different lifetimes, in all different forms, in all different shapes and sizes, in all different galaxies. All of us has. All of our DNA has traveled a cosmic conveyor belt before it became a human. Literally, the proteins in our body and all the different particles exploded from a star at one time and traveled throughout the cosmos before it became a planet or a human or what have you. Right? So our DNA is made up of all this cosmic debris, all this cosmic currency, if you want to call it. Our DNA is currency of the cosmos, and we're built up of all this cosmic currency. And our cosmic currency has all different knowledge and all different wisdom that it's absorbed through all its journeys, right? So a rishi in ancient Sanskrit, very simply put, is a sage or a seer. But a rishi learns the language of the light. And what I mean by that is he learns the language of the universe, the language of God, the harmony of the music of the sky, the celestial waters impulsing us information from every sun and star. We have streams of plasma impulsing all the codes of light. These codes of light that are coming from every sun in every solar system is impulsing the codes for creation, the codes for sustenance, the codes for evolution, and ultimately the codes for dissolution and rebirth. These codes of light are streaming rivers of plasma. They form one big confluence of one big celestial ocean. That celestial ocean is the freaking Akashic records. As we communicate with this Akashic records, this universe of light, things start to form and materialize in this physical reality. Right? That's how things materialize, by us communicating with the universe of light. Very simply, a sage learns the universal language of the light. And that's the language of all suns and stars. It's telepathic.
Wow, dude, that's amazing, man. Like,
and you learn this, and this happens by entering into a state of samadhi, right? What's samadhi? Samadhi is an alpha state, a heightened state of a meditation, a shamanic state, an 8 hertz sort of state, where you get into a meditative state. And once entering into a state of samadhi, the sage or seer can communicate with the collective consciousness. That's why Sanskrit was developed. It's developed to align yourself with the when you say Om or Aum, that's aligning yourself with the heartbeat, the breath of the sun, the pulsating force of the sun, right? So this is all generated for us to start communicating with the language of God, the music, the sound of the light. So check me out at the Space Border Podcast, right on YouTube, Exploring the Ka, where we dive into the sound of the light. Go to the mysticalspiralstore.com. Get yourself an energy device. You can also join me at Patreon, patreon.com/the mystical spiral. You can literally get life-changing information, life-changing, priceless knowledge and research for $2 a month. I mean, you can't even get a cup of coffee for that. So join me. It's the Mystical Spiral store, Exploring the Ka on YouTube, and patreon.com/the Mystical Spiral. Rob, thank you again, bro. You're one of my favorite people in the world, one of my best friends. I love you, brother. I'll talk to you tomorrow, all right?
All right, thanks, man. I'll just
Roll out.
Later, dude. All right, guys. Dude, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. Ra's amazing, right? You know, my light went out. Let me turn this on. Let me see what we're doing here. And then what we'll do, guys, is we're going to probably do a call-in show here soon. You know, I don't want to do them too often because, you know, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just do call-in shows all the time because, you know, we'll run out of stuff, you know, but we will do another call-in show soon. But tomorrow, I wanted to tell you guys about tomorrow. Tomorrow, I have a girl named, I'm looking at my, I have Sarah McCrum. She's going to come on tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Then at 8 p.m. Eastern, I have Tony Rodriguez. And that's going to be hopefully that'll be a Rob and Coley show. I mean, I think me and Coley are supposed to do that one together. And then I have a whole weekend of shows with her. And then Amanda Joan of Heart is Thursday. So, you know, there's a lot of good stuff coming up. And what I wanted to say, guys, is I put out a notice about it. You know, if you guys can support the show, you know, it was easy for me like the last couple of months because I had income coming in from my audio podcast, but they honestly demonetized me, guys. So like, it's like I'm trying to rebuild, and it's like, so honestly, it's a little bit discouraging at times. You know what I mean? Because like now I don't have a revenue source, whereas before I did. So that's when I say, like, if you can support the podcast, please do. And I don't even like asking for donations. It's kind of ridiculous, you know. But I mean, yeah, and there's links in the description to do that. And I appreciate you guys. I love you guys all. And until tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll have Tony Rodriguez at 8 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully that'll be a Robin Coley show, and it'll be a good one. And then right before that, Sarah McCrum at 7 p.m. Eastern. So there's going to be 2 shows tomorrow. Yeah, and like I said, support the show, and we'll do a call-in show again here real soon. Okay, and I love you guys. Good night, everyone. Take care.